Hello, I'm A.D. Hobbs, and this is my review of Terminator 6. Well, the proper name for it is Terminator Dark Fate. And I saw it in the cinema, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good fun and everything. A lot of spoilers in this, by the way, yeah. I suppose the biggest spoiler of all, well, you don't have to wait very long. In the first 3 minutes, a major spoiler in this film. Well, basically, we see John Connor when he's still a child in the year 1998. And a Terminator that looks just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, so a different T-101. He brutally kills John Connor and then just walks off. And naturally, Sarah Connor is devastated. So there's going to be no John Connor in this film. Now, that's good and bad. I can explain what I mean. Because in Terminator 5, John Connor became the bad guy. Well, not really of his own free will. No, his body was taken control of by a machine. But, no, I have mixed feelings about that because, well, what is worse? John Connor turning to a bad guy or John Connor being dead? I think John Connor being a bad guy is more annoying because, everyone looks up to him. He's the symbol of hope, this determination to survive and fight for your freedom. When John Connor turns into a bad guy, well, you don't really care if he lives or dies anymore, do you? No. So, yes, I think him dying was less annoying, yeah. That does create some problems, though, because if he's dead, how can he, if he never grew into a man, how could he reprogram the Terminator to be his protector in the 90s? How could he send Kyle Reese on this mission to, yeah, that creates a lot of problems. And the other problem is, well, nothing to do with time travel, a different kind of problem. So, in other words, this, James Cameron didn't like Terminator 3, 4 and 5. They were like a bad dream. So he was involved in this and was like the producer and one of the writers. He said this one takes place straight after the events of Terminator 2, so you behave as if the other ones didn't exist. But all that hard work to protect the life of John Connor in Terminator 2, and it all counted for nothing because he's ended up dead. Yeah, you feel a bit ripped off if that happens, yeah. But, and yeah, here's the extra twist, I think we've done the John Connor character from every possible angle. We see him as a young man in Terminator 3. We see him as the very loud, shouty leader in Terminator 4. And then he becomes a baddie that's half machine in number 5. We've done the John Connor character from every possible angle. Can we do something a bit different now? Yeah. And but then, of course, there are unanswered questions, but here's a question that is answered. If Skynet never existed, then how can there be a threat of machines taking over the planet in the future? Because it's a completely different computer now called Legion, an artificial intelligence, and it wants humans extinct. And that's why the Terminators, or more specifically the metal robots, look ever so slightly different. They have, as you can see, a slightly different nose on this metal skeleton. And they have like a sort of hole in their head, I don't know, because the computer circuitry works a bit differently. And the HKs in the future look ever so slightly different. So, yeah, they're different. But, okay, Legion is the new arch enemy now, but they wiped out the existence of Skynet. And so they want to wipe out the existence of Legion. But I thought, well, what's the point? If they did wipe out the existence of Legion, then another computer intelligence would take over, then another, yeah. It's a bit like there is this time travel theory that if you stop something happening, something else makes it happen. It is inevitable. Well, if they don't stop it happening, this franchise is never ever going to end. Yeah, but that's kind of the point, leaving openings for sequels to make more money. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the answer is well, just tell all the people about this problem, make it public, so nobody builds a supercomputer again. Yeah, and yes, this film did get criticised a lot. But I'm going to criticise the critics. Okay, I'll explain what I mean. This got criticised for being a bit too similar to Terminator 2. Yes, okay, it's a different person this time. A young Mexican lady called Danny. And she's very important in the future, yeah. So this killer robot's come to kill her. Some protector has come from the future to help her, yeah. Just like Terminator. It's too similar to Terminator 2. We're doing the same idea again. Well, in Terminator 4, here... Terminator Salvation, there's the action figures from Terminator 4, yeah. In Terminator 4, they did try something different. The entire story takes place in the future, and there's no protector, it's all set in the future, no different timelines or anything like that. They tried that idea, and the people didn't like it. The people didn't like Terminator Salvation No, part of the appeal of these films is we're on two different timelines. Yes, these killer robots from the future sent backwards in time to stop a major event from happening. Yeah. So you've got to give the fans what they want. Yeah. And they sort of did that in Terminator 5. That got criticised. Oh, dear me. And but then I thought this was better than Terminator 5. This was an improvement. And yes, we've got Linda Hamilton, the original Sarah Connor, back, yeah. And yeah, of course it has connections with the other films, but they are making some effort to make it a bit more original. Well, like, for instance, in the first film, a human comes to protect Sarah Connor. In the second one, a robot comes to protect John Connor when he's a child. And then we thought, well, what can we do to make this protector a bit different? Well, Grace, she's the protector. She's technically human, but she's been augmented, modification. She has metal bits in her arms and legs and her belly to give her the physical strength of a Terminator. So there's some good fight sequences. She can kick ass. She can beat the bad guys. Yeah, a bit like the Bionic Woman in that respect. Yeah. Her weakness, however, is every now and again she needs lots of medication. She has to stop at a doctor's or a pharmacist or a chemist shop and get all the medication quickly because the human metabolism isn't designed to take that kind of pressure from physical strength. Yeah. And the actress that plays her, she looks like Katy Perry, you know. Not that that's a bad thing. No, Katy Perry is absolutely gorgeous. Is that how she got the part? Either that or the actress, she was in Blade Runner 2. Yeah, and she plays an artificial person in that, a robot. She plays a robot in that. Yeah, so she's good at sci-fi, and yes, she can kick butt in this film, yeah. And, there's some things we haven't seen before. When the character of Grace appears, it's a huge bridge with cars going. In the centre of that, this huge sphere. And so she falls from a great height. But because she has great strength, that's not a problem. A bit battered, but she manages to gather her wits. The evil Terminator, so the new baddie called the Rev 9, his sphere doesn't appear on the ground. No, it appears high up in the air. But when he falls, he doesn't hurt himself, and he falls a bit more gracefully. More gracefully than Grace. Oh, that's a good pun there, yeah. Anyway, because, of course, he's artificial, so he can't be battered about and feel pain like a human can, yeah. And, yes, again, about originality, we've done a metal robot in Terminator 3. Her skin is liquid metal, but her skeleton is solid metal. We do this again, yes, a solid metal robot and liquid, put those two ideas together. The skin of the Rev 9 is liquid metal, but to make it a bit different, the solid metal and the liquid metal can separate and become two separate entities. Yes, I mean, it's still his mind, yeah, but controlling two separate bodies. So, and then they can reunite and become one big, strong robot, yeah. Yeah, so that's original for the Terminator franchise. Not totally original in general, though. No, this idea has been done before in He-Man and the Master of the Universe. There was a character with two heads called Modulok. Well, technically, there were three characters with two heads, but anyway, one of them was called Modulok. He had two heads, and the toy was one big monster with two heads, 4 arms, 6 legs, but you could break it apart, and they could be two separate entities to fight the goodies, and then reunite together as one big monster. So yes, that idea has been done before in Modulok. And in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, when two aliens join together and become one. Yeah. So, well, okay, it's original as far as the Terminator films are concerned, yeah. And, speaking of originality, yes. The Terminator, the new T-101 that kills John Connor, well, he explains, like, he's sending text messages to Sarah Connor because Skynet isn't sending just one, it's sending a number of Terminators. So over the course of a few years, Sarah Connor doesn't know who the mysterious stranger is, but someone is texting her telling her precisely when and where Terminators from the future are going to show up. Oh, wait a minute. How could this T-101 know that stuff if he was created by Skynet? Aren't these new robots being sent by Legion? Okay, that's an unanswered question in the story. Okay, but here's an answered question. Why did he turn good? Why did he gain a conscience? Well, because in Terminator 2... the T-101 in that, he says, I must protect John Connor's life after my mission is complete. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do after that. It's irrelevant, yeah. And then afterwards, it, of course, ends up dead. Well, what would a Terminator do after his mission is complete and he doesn't get killed in a battle? That issue hasn't been discussed until now. Well, basically, he needs a purpose. He needs a mission, yeah. So he finds, by chance, a wife batterer, a man beating up his wife, and then threatens to kill their child. So he saves them at the last minute, and then he looks after the woman, and he becomes like the stepfather to the child, and watches him grow up, and he sees that humanity is something worth fighting for. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, yeah. I mean, he can't feel emotions the way a human can, he can't feel love, but he can feel the need to protect, yeah. So that's his purpose now. He's found a purpose in his life to protect. Sarah Connor is not pleased at all to find out that this person that's been helping him with text messages is a Terminator. She says, you can't trust Terminators. They can never turn good. They're totally evil. Wait a minute. In the second one, didn't she... Yes, there was a T-101 that had turned good and protected her and protected her son. She talks as if she's never seen that concept before, but she does have first-hand experience of it, yeah. But nevertheless, yeah, I can respect her for being, non-trustworthy of something that's your mortal enemy. Well, most Terminators are bad, but there are some rare exceptions, yeah. And he says that his relationship with this woman, the T-101, says, my name is Carl, I'm given a name. And they say, well, no, that doesn't make you human. You can't pass for human just because you've got a name. And he says, I don't just have a name. I look after my new woman and my stepson. I look after them. I'm very considerate, caring. I'm a good listener. I'm also extremely funny. How can he say that with a straight face? Well, because he's a robot, that's why, yeah. Anyway, he has lots and lots of guns because he knew inevitably this day would come, his past would come up to catch up with him. Oh yes, and there's a bit when this goodie called Carl, T-101, a dog sits next to him and doesn't bark. Normally, of course, dogs always bark. They don't like Terminators, but he's earned the trust of a dog. So yeah, that counts for something, yeah. And, okay, one twist I did not see coming. We assume that Danny is the mother of the future. She's going to have a boy or a girl, will give birth to the Messiah that's going to save humanity in the future. No, it's her, Danny. She is the saviour. She's going to be the commander of the goodies and save humanity. She is the Messiah. And then we have an image in the future when she saves her Grace when she's much younger from bad guys. She can kick ass, beat the hell out. Even though she's only 5'1", she's super tough, yeah. And then after that, she sort of waves her hand like that to signal all her people. She can literally make them do anything she wants, or to wave her hand. Yeah, she's tough. They respect her. They salute her as the new leader, yeah. So I didn't see that coming. So yes, it does have some nice, good ideas here and there. One bit I didn't like is when the big army car falls out of a big aeroplane. In midair, it falls. Is that a good action sequence? I don't know, because I couldn't see it properly because it was so dark. I needed to be a bit brighter to see what's going on, yeah. And we have an epic confrontation between the Terminator. And yes, Danny's given the option of hiding someone. She says, no, I want that monster killed forever. Yeah, I'm going to make a stand, yeah. So yes, it does have moments. I did enjoy this film, but can it please be the last one? I mean, I get it. They do Terminator sequels because they fear the franchise will be forgotten. No, I think no more sequels. It's unnecessary because I think this franchise will still be remembered in 20 years' time with no more sequels. Plus, the epic battle takes place in 2029. That's not that far in the future anymore, is it? No, so it would look silly. Yeah, it looks so dated. Yeah, so in other words, no. I think, end on a bang, this should definitely be the last one. I enjoyed it, but it didn't leave me longing for more. Okay, that'll do. I think that sums up everything. Yeah, I like the cool Rev 9, the cool baddie. And but can this please be the last one? Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.